Hello, all, and welcome to And Us Voices, where we gather some film friends to help us put the us in movies and us. My name is Jennifer Hahn.
And I'm Sarah Callan.
We've often found that movies can be more than just entertainment, but a way to connect more deeply with others and the world around us. We love hearing thoughts from other movie watchers and film fans, so we invited a few of them to come and share with us today. So we have this kind of kaleidoscope of thoughts, feelings, opinions about a framing question. In this episode, we will answer the question, what is your favorite dinosaur moment from the one and only classic Jurassic Park? So after Sarah and I share some of our favorite scenes, you will hear from some of our film friends of the pod, who are gracious enough to contribute to this episode and share some of their favorite dinosaur moments. So yeah, Sarah, I'm excited to talk about this movie even more. We just reviewed this and got to talk about and dive in fully about all of the aspects of Jurassic Park, but we're zeroing in on dinosaur moments for this one, and there's so many great candidates.
Yes, there are so many great candidates. It's kind of hard to choose. I'm actually having a very hard time choosing myself. I'm going to be a little agent of chaos today and make like a decision in the moment because I still don't know what I'm going to choose. When we first came up with this prompt and this idea, there were two scenes that immediately popped into my head, and I love them both equally for very different reasons, and I'm still not sure which one I'm going to choose.
Okay, well, we'll see where the pendulum will swing to at the precise second that you have to answer this question that I'm about to ask you now.
But I think you should go first.
Okay.
I think you should go first.
That.
Give me a little bit more
time.
time.
I'm pretty confident about my choice.
Ooh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about all the dinosaur moments in this movie, and there's obviously some big ones. There's lots of big muscular T-Rexes that are being loud and scary. So obviously there's some of those that immediately we're like, oh, those are so fun. We just love to see that on the big screen and be afraid and see a dinosaur like stomping around. But I went with the raptor birth scene that happens around like the halfway point, beginning, definitely like first half of the film. I think this is, first of all, a genius choice by the film to start our first few dinosaur moments that are really like a little bit longer, where we actually get to see the dinosaurs. So this doesn't include the first scene where we feel the presence of the dinosaurs, but to actually see a dinosaur. And we see it in its most small, tiny, pure, innocent form. And it's this moment of awe and wonder. And I think this scene, for me, is so pivotal for framing every other dinosaur scene that happens afterwards. So we get the big scary ones later, but they're always set with the lens of awe and wonder at these incredible creatures that honestly I'm jealous that this crew gets to experience, even though they're running from them some of the time. Yeah. But just to get to see dinosaurs alive again, like I felt that feeling so much in this most recent viewing. And so the raptor birth scene is my favorite dinosaur moment from Jurassic Park. And I think it also really helps us like empathize with and put ourselves in the shoes of our characters, specifically Ellie and Grant, because we feel their deep care and love for dinosaurs in general. They've dedicated so much of their lives to studying these incredible creatures. And so I felt excited seeing them excited about little baby raptors getting born and like rolling its neck around. Like that was thrilling for me because I felt that with the characters too. So I think that from an experiential point, this is a really fun scene. But then I think from a filmmaking perspective, this is such an important scene to frame every other dinosaur moment that happens in this movie and literally in the rest of the franchise. Like that awe and wonder is always present. And it starts with little baby raptors.
No, this is such a good pick. I was definitely like in awe of this scene upon our most recent rewatch. And I don't know that I've ever been wowed by that scene before. So like maybe it's just because I'm getting older. And so now I'm like really fascinated by different things now that I'm like fully an adult. And it's such an incredible scene for all those reasons that you said. And the talent to have that little baby raptor, and it's so intricate and it's so detailed. And so I was just impressed all over again with the puppetry of it all and the design of that and how they were able to create this
Mm.
little baby raptor coming out of this egg that looks and feels so lifelike. Like, it's just incredible from a technical perspective what they were able to accomplish here. And it's so stunning to look at. And then, like you were saying, we're seeing through the lens of these characters and they're all in awe, so we are also in awe. It's just, man, what a fantastic scene.
Yeah, it's so great. It does look so good still, which is
Yeah.
really impressive, and it's really well lit, and so for it to
Mhm.
look so good while being so well lit is also really impressive. Because there's obviously a lot of other sequences that are more in the night and in the dark, because you can just kind of hand wave and make that if you're hiding like cords and cables from animatronics and stuff, you can do a better job of that. But to do such a brightly lit, good looking scene is also hard when you're trying to showcase baby dinosaurs that look so real. So yeah, this scene has aged very well as well. It's a great point.
Ah, so good. It's a
Yeah.
great choice.
Okay. There's been minutes that have
There
passed.
has been minutes that have
The
passed.
needle is flickering back and forth between either side.
Yes, and I
Where
need
have
to
you
make
been?
a decision, and this is the moment. It's so funny because the 2 scenes are so, like, tonally different, and so
Mhm.
it's like, "Okay, do I wanna lean into whimsy or do I wanna lean into terror?" Because those are the 2
Ooh.
options before us today, and I think I'm gonna keep going with this raptor theme, and I am going to choose the raptors chasing the children through the kitchen. When I think of Jurassic Park, like, this is the scene that I think of, and the raptors' claws, that one shot of the
Clicking.
floor, and you see them clicking across the floor, and just the way that this film has set up the danger and the threat that these raptors are, and it's been the
Yeah.
whole movie. The movie starts by seeing a raptor being, like, led into a cage and all the precautions that they have to take. Then we see the baby
Mhm.
raptor, and it's so cute, and then at the end, we finally see the destruction that the raptors can wreak on the world around us, and you see how smart they are and how they're working together because they had already talked about how they work in teams. And if you see one in front of you, you'll miss the one to the side of you. And you see all of that in this scene. So I love from a narrative perspective that all of these things that we've learned over the course of the movie, they
Mm.
come to a head in this one scene, in addition to being absolutely thrilling to watch these two small children have to run away from some of the most dangerous dinosaurs that exist or existed because, they don't exist anymore. But I love how thrilling that scene is. All of the technical components come together to make it just absolutely, like, heart-stopping. And even if you've seen the movie before and you know what happens, it is still thrilling every time.
And what's also great about this scene is that it allows time to breathe and then to
Yes.
reignite the action again. I think that was notable too watching this time around is there's moments where it feels like a horror movie, like the
Mhm.
children are crouched, they hear the footsteps or the paw steps. I don't know what do you call a raptor's foot?
I
A
don't know what you call
something.
them.
The
You hear them
extremities.
coming.
Yes, you see its little claws
Yes.
clicking, and it allows tension to build and then explodes again, and you hear all the clanging of, like, dishes and utensils and the steel tables, and I think that, like, constant back and forth between almost these moments of stillness and then
Mhm.
explosion really makes the scene so strong too. There's a really great shot that I love from the scene that's, like, seared in my brain of, like, the children have run out of one of the kitchen rooms and the raptor turns and it's like a shot from the side and you just see the like almost deranged look in the raptor's eyes. And I think that just adds so much like levity to the scene too. Like
Mhm.
the T-Rexes are big, bad, and scary,
Mhm.
but the raptors almost have this like deranged, like crazed look about them that I think
Yeah.
adds to the fun of watching them like ferociously hunt these tiny children because that's their nature. They're not even like
Mhm.
there to kill. They're just like almost there for the thrill of it too. They're having fun. So I don't know, I think there's like a levity that's part of the sequence that is different tonally from like a T-Rex showdown.
Hmm.
And that's a different tone. Also very fun, but different. The raptors have almost this like derangedness that makes that scene really exciting too.
It's true, it's true, they do look like they're a little bit out of their mind, but
Yeah.
they're also so smart and so strategic, and the way that they, like, work together and are figuring things out is just that part of it is so fascinating to me
Mm,
to see, like, a really intelligent dinosaur that is methodically stalking its prey like that, I just think
mm,
is really fascinating and very terrifying, but I also
mhm,
love that the scene happens in the kitchen too, 'cause I think there's so much fun there visually that we haven't seen in the movie because 'cause they've just been out and about in the park, out in nature, whether it's sunshiny or storming, but, like, most of it has happened in, like, organic spaces, and so then
mm,
they're in this kitchen where it's all, like, stainless and silver everything, and it just looks
yeah.
so different than what we have seen before, and then, of course, that gives additional, like, props and things for them to play with and, all of that. So I think visually it's such a contrast to everything that we had seen before, and then that use
Mm.
of that space is so smart and just creating tension throughout the scene.
And they're constantly moving from room to room too,
Mhm.
which adds so much dynamic nature visually, but then also in the props, also in the feeling of like progress and movement and keeping it interesting. They're on the move, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, we've got a showdown in this room and like we're escaping and running and the Raptors are gonna follow them in the next room. So that feeling of movement and changing location, I think also helps this scene so much too. This is a great choice.
Mhm.
Okay, I know you had one pick and you made your pick. But can you share your runner-up? The one that didn't make the cut?
Oh, my other scene that I just love is the Triceratops.
That's the
It's
Triceratops scene.
ugh,
With Laura Dern, that one?
yes, I love it so much. There's and we talked about it in our review with Eli as well, but it's so cool to have that dedicated moment of wonder and awe at this incredible creature that is right there, and it's so tactile, and
Yeah.
you see all the bumps and lumps on this triceratops. You can see the texture in its horns, and when she's like poking at its tongue, it looks so gross and slimy. Like it's
Yeah.
so you feel like you can just like touch it. It's right there. And
Mhm.
just the awe and wonder that our characters are experiencing and then us as the audience are also experiencing that. Like I just
Mm.
I love that scene.
It's a great scene. Really, really great moment. Just like to be in that moment and almost feel like you're there, the movie magic of it all that was able to be
Yes.
created. And then also, like, I think at a meta level and thematically, it adds to the narrative of the corporate entity taking advantage of these creatures and them
Yeah.
being trapped and them being exploited for the sake of entertainment and capitalism. So there's that whole bit too where the dinosaurs aren't the foes, really they're actually our friends and to be protected, which I feel like the franchise continues to explore that like duality later on. But I feel like that scene specifically tugs on our heartstrings so much that we must shift and change how we even think about what survival looks like in this plot line. Like, it's not to
Mhm.
take out all of the dinosaurs and get
Yeah.
rid of them. It's to survive, yes, but they're friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, they're so sweet.
they're so good. It's so good. That's a great choice. That's a great choice. So your
Mhm.
runner up,
So
almost there, but
you
it got a
you
shout out.
see my
You
my
know?
my struggle, They're
Yeah.
so different that it's hard to
You can't
pick
pick.
one because
Mm.
both showcases so many of the themes of this film so
Yeah.
well, and I mean,
Yeah.
both are just incredibly done. I mean, the whole movie is incredible, so
Yeah.
let's this is a hard question to answer,
Good.
but I feel
Yeah.
like we did great. I'm very proud of you for picking one, and thank you for allowing space for me to be indecisive.
And sorry to everybody that we've invited to share theirs to do this impossible task together with us
Oh, oh,
and
no.
pick your favorite dinosaur moment from this movie that has so many great candidates and
Mhm.
just and they're all so different in nature. So we're very curious to hear what the rest of the folks have picked. And so we're going to play a bunch of their segments next, and you'll get to see what their choices were and the whys behind them, which is also honestly more interesting than what the pick is too sometimes, of like, why that scene?
Mhm.
And some of the things that people are able to notice and pick out, and how that is in context of the rest of the film. It's so exciting, so interesting. So with that, we will play the next segment here.
Hello, my name is Michael Burgett, and I am the host of the Screen Nerds Podcast, a podcast for film lovers by film lovers. You can check my podcast out wherever it is that you get your podcasts. There you can hear episodes of quick screen reviews where I give my thoughts and opinions of new movies right out of the theater. And then rescreen episodes are rewatching favorite films and then sharing my thoughts and memories of seeing those films for the first time, as well as my thoughts on the latest rewatch. And I was super excited when Jen and Sarah asked me to be a part of this project that they're doing. And this one that they're doing is all about the film Jurassic Park. I remember seeing this film back in the 90s and just being blown away by the visuals, just to see those dinosaurs portrayed in CGI. It was just mind blowing. And then not only was the visuals so great, but you have the iconic score of John Williams, as well as just the story. And I think that's why it holds up so very well all these years later, is the fact that it has not only great visuals, great music, but also a great story. And so I was asked for my favorite scene in the film. And I thought about it for a moment, and then I immediately had to think of the chase sequence. If you remember, there was a scene at nighttime, and Malcolm is sitting in the Jeep and he's hearing these loud, thunderous footsteps, and we see the visual in the puddle where it shakes, and we know that something is coming, and it turns out to be a huge T-Rex. And Ellie and Muldoon are running, and Malcolm is like encouraging them to get in the Jeep. So they get in the Jeep and it takes off, and we have this great chase sequence with the T-Rex chasing in behind the Jeep, and Malcolm screaming at him, must go faster, must go faster, must go faster. And Ellie and Muldoon are like trying to get the Jeep to go faster, and Malcolm is messing around with the stick shift and everything. And then finally they're able to get it going and take off, but not before the most important part of that scene to me is when we see in the rear view mirror where it says objects may be closer than they appear, and we see the T-Rex chasing them, and he's right there, and it's so iconic, and it's so beautiful, and it's so well done too, because you have the mixing of the music with with how it's just building up that tension, as well as having the visuals of that T-Rex right there. It's just so beautifully shot, so beautifully put together, and so well done. And also the fact that it lends itself to one of the greatest parodies as well, because one of my favorite films of all time, Toy Story 2, parodied this scene in Al's Toy Barn when Rex is chasing after the Barbie car because he had gotten out of it and he was trying to catch up with them. And you can see in the mirror of the Barbie car, you see Rex's face in there, and he's like, "Roar," and all that. And it's so iconic there as well. And it parodied the Jurassic Park film so perfectly. And so it's a film, and it's a scene that is so great, not just in one film, but in two films. So it's really well done. And it's great that we have these kind of moments because they really resonate. And that's what Jen and Sarah's podcast is all about. It's about sharing those resonating moments and thoughts and feelings. And that's the same with the Screen Nerds podcast, because we're all about celebrating film and celebrating those moments that really impact us. And so it was great to be asked to be a part of this. And so thank you for letting me be a part of it. And I hope you'll check out the Screen Nerds podcast sometime.
Hello, Jen, Sarah, and the Movies and Us listeners. My name is Eli Price. I am the host of The Establishing Shot, a podcast where we do deep dives into directors and their filmographies. You may recognize me from the Jurassic Park episode with Jen and Sarah. I had a lot of fun doing that, but I figured I would expound a little bit on my favorite dinosaur moment from Jurassic Park. It could probably change each watch. There's so many great ones, but I did want to tune into one particular moment that really stood out to me this rewatch. So there's the moment where we've met the brachiosauruses. We've moved along. They hop out of the jeeps and they come upon a sick triceratops. It's such a great moment. It is that big animatronic, triceratops that breathes and moves its head around. So you've got the tactility there. That's awesome. We're introduced to it in a just great Spielberg camera movement way with going through the grass and coming upon it with the kids' feet. So great. And the moment that really got me this time is probably all credited to Laura Dern and her incredible acting and emotional intelligence in the scene. She has this tear in her eye as she's just getting face to face with this triceratops. And it actually, I don't know why, but it made me tear up the tiniest bit as I was watching it this time. I don't think that's ever happened before. But yeah, it just really touched me. You get the moment of the little girl watching Sam Neill's Dr. Grant as he's just laying on the triceratops breathing. That makes me smile. And it's just such a touching moment. And, they really are amazed by this creature, but also really care for it and want to see it well. And yeah, I just love that moment. It's one of those slow down character building moments. And yeah, I think this time around, that was my favorite dinosaur moment in Jurassic Park. I don't know if that will be a popular choice, but yeah, I'm glad to have it as my my favorite moment. But thank you so much, Jen and Sarah, for putting all of these thoughts together. Looking forward to hearing everyone else's choices. And again, you can find me at the Establishing Shot on whatever podcast format you listen to. We are in the middle of a Spielberg series. So I have an episode of Jurassic Park that you can listen to. And you can also hear Jen and Sarah on my podcast on the Terminal episode. So yeah, go check it out wherever you listen, or you can go to establishingshotpod.com to find out more. Thanks.
Hey y'all, this is Eric Okweme from E Square Film Reviews. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook if you're on that. And I have been asked to do the impossible task of saying my favorite dinosaur moment from Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is my absolute favorite movie of all time. It is maybe the only movie I can safely say I've seen over 100 times. I watched it dang near every day from ages 7 to 13. So asking me my favorite moment, my answer is truly the entire thing. But if I have to narrow it down, I think for me, one of the most iconic and exciting moments in this movie is when the entire team sees their first dinosaur, which is the Brachiosaurus. That scene to me is everything that makes Jurassic Park an incredible film. It's more than just a monster film with scary dinosaurs that kill. Those scenes are exciting, but it's really a movie that's about wonder and what humans can create in the best of times, recreate in the best of times before the rest of the movie goes into the dangers of playing God. So in that scene, why do I love it? One, we have not seen a dinosaur really yet in that film, or maybe not at all. Now I think about it, we haven't seen a dinosaur yet. So we as an audience member are also sitting there with anticipation. Two, we get these paleontologists who are very skeptical. They haven't been told what exactly they're on that island for. And you get Dr. Settler looking at plants and saying, these aren't supposed to be here. This is from the Cretaceous. You get these drops of, oh, they're realizing that something is different. And then you see the acting on those individuals' faces. So Dr. Alan Grant's faces as he first sees that dinosaur, And I mean, talk about perfect acting in terms of shock and awe and wonder and feeling like a little kid. He turns her head and she sees the Brachiosaurus. She does the same thing. And the beautiful music that score John Williams has is like soaring, and you see the Brachiosaurus, something that's bigger than life. Now, the actual scene isn't the best effects in the film because when you watch it, it's very clearly a screen behind them, but that doesn't matter because you see Dr. Grant almost breaking down, I mean, crying, saying, "It's a dinosaur. This hardened man, this scholar can only say something that every kid says, and that's it's a dinosaur." It's fantastic. And of course, the last thing I love about it is that you get the famous "Welcome to Jurassic Park." They learn that they have a T-Rex, all these things. It's a perfect scene in my opinion. Actually, after recording this, I think I might just go and rewatch that scene to feel something. So that's my favorite scene. It explores the wonder of Jurassic Park. And I mean, let me stop this before I keep talking because I can talk forever.
Hello, my name is Sara Shea. I'm the creator and co-host of Shea Cinema. This is a podcast I do with my father, William. We are watching and reviewing in chronological order all films nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. We are currently in the middle of our 6th season, which coincides with the 6th Academy Awards, or around in the middle of the year 1933. You can find us on all podcasting platforms as well as on Instagram at Shea Cinema. That's SHEA Cinema, as well as on Threads. A big thank you to Jen and Sarah for inviting me to share my fave dinosaur moment in the original Jurassic Park. So something to know about me and this movie is this movie came out in the summer of 1993. I had just turned 14. It was the summer in between my 8th grade and 9th grade years. So I was heading into high school at the fall. I have to say I was 100% the target audience for this movie. I've always been a monster movie fan, and this seems like it was tailor-made for me. The movie came out about a week after my birthday, so went with a group of my friends to see it, and we were so excited and so absolutely terrified watching this movie. It was such a blast, so fun. As they say in wrestling, nonstop excitement from bell to bell. We were completely enthralled. It was probably one of the most highly anticipated movies that I can recall at that time. We loved it. I remember being so scared and screaming genuinely in the theater and being so caught up. The joke at the time was that the dinosaurs seemed so real that it was amazing how well trained they were, right? That they had managed to find actual dinosaur actors to perform in the movie. Such a great blend of top-notch CGI at the time, as well as robotics, puppets, amazing all around. Sarah and Jen have asked us to talk about our favorite dinosaur moment. There are so many iconic moments in this film. I've seen this movie countless times, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times. That first weekend that it was out, I saw it 2 days in a row. We loved it so much, but I've seen it at home so many times. It's been re-released in theaters several times. One of my great memories is taking my daughter to see it in the theater when they re-released it during the middle of COVID, and we got to see it in an empty theater on the big screen all by ourselves. I love that iconic moment when Hammond says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and it's a meme now, right? Grant is taking his sunglasses off and he's looking at the huge herds of dinosaurs. He's turning Ellie Sattler's head. It's great. Love when they see the sick Triceratops, and that was a dinosaur that they could actually reach out and touch. It's such a tender moment. This is what Spielberg is so good at. The finale with the velociraptors chasing Lex and Tim through the kitchen is so, so great. But I have to tell you that my number one favorite dinosaur moment in the entire movie is the one that still elicits a jump scare out of me every single time. I know that it is coming every single time, and it still makes me jump. It still makes me yelp, and it is so good. So to me, it is the top dinosaur moment in Jurassic Park. It is when Dennis Nedry is caught in the storm and he is trying to make his way back to the ship because he's stolen all of these dinosaur embryos. Everything is going wrong. And this is when he meets up with a Dilophosaurus, and the Dilophosaurus, he kind of sees it's making chirping noises at him, and he's like, haha, and he's coming around, and we hate Dennis Nedry already. We know he's the bad guy, but when he is getting into the Jeep and the Dilophosaurus jumps up, or the head comes up on the passenger side of the Jeep, and it spreads its big old frilly head and spits into his eyes. It freaks me out every single time. It is so good and so shocking and so horrifying, but we kind of love that he's getting his just desserts. But also, it's so, so scary. To me, it's scarier than anything that goes on with the raptors, ultimately, because it's still the thing that makes my skin absolutely crawl. So, Dilophosaurus, scariest dinosaur, best dinosaur in the film. I love that moment so much. It gets me every time. Again, thanks, Jen and Sarah, for inviting me to share my top dinosaur moment in Jurassic Park. Absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm so delighted that I get to cheese out about it for just a little bit.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of And Us Voices, and a big thank you to Michael from Screen Nerds Podcast, Eli from the Establishing Shot Podcast, Eric from E Squared Film Reviews, and Sarah from Shea Cinema Podcast for contributing this episode and sharing with us your favorite dinosaur moments from this classic film. Be sure to check out the show notes of this episode to see how you can go and connect and follow and just build a relationship with each of them. They put out amazing content and have such great takes about a lot of the films that are coming out today and older films as well. The full gamut is covered. So yeah, we'll include all of their links on socials and where you can find some of their work in our show notes. All right, so be sure to subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you tune to your favorite shows. Drop us a rating and review letting us know what your favorite dinosaur moment pick from Jurassic Park might be. You can connect with us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Movies in Us Pod, or on our website, andusmedia.co. Keep an eye on this feed. We'll be back soon with a Movies in Us review of The Old Guard 2. Sarah and I both really loved the first one, so we're very excited about the second entry in this world. We hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk again with y'all very soon.